We'll start with the MSRAC meeting first.
Any other calls from you on your phone?
First order of business is the approval of minutes, the May 8th, 2020 regular meeting. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Steve.
Okay. Do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Okay. Second? Anybody? Anyone can second.
Bernie, you can unmute yourself too. I don't know who's on phone number ending 0495.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Joanne will second.
Okay, Joanne, thank you. We have a second. All in favor of approving the minutes?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we'll consider them approved. Next order of business is correspondence, which there are none. There is none. Moving on to citizens.
Bernard Davis.
I don't see any citizens. Well, there could be the phone numbers I don't recognize. Any citizens' comments out there?
860-923-2340.
Sounds like Bernie. Okay, I don't hear any comments, so we'll move on to
That
committee.
is correct. And if you get, a what?
Bernie, could you mute?
Can someone mute Bernie?
Thank you.
He's all set.
Okay, on to committee business, 630 Riverside Drive update. The fence condition, which I've noticed is in pretty sad shape.
It's just ridiculous, really.
I walked by it a couple weeks back and took some pictures, and it's not doing its job as a fence, I'll tell you that.
I know, maybe we should just take it down. Like, what's the point? What is the point of it? So no one smashes into it, or it's an eyesore? What is the actual,
Well,
what was it up for?
we were told that it was a requirement by the owner's insurance company to have the property fenced.
Yeah.
Well, maybe call the insurance company and tell them it's not really fenced.
It's not fenced.
That sounds logical.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly an eyesore. It's certainly not providing any lack of access to the property for anybody who wants to create mischief on there, who really wants to, right?
Right.
It has no value right now, and it's really, really dreadful. It's not even helping the Collier sign. The Collier sign's on the ground.
That's right. Yeah.
Is Sean on?
I don't think so, unless he is the number ending in 0495.
Nope, that's Joanne.
Oh, that's Joanne, okay.
Okay.
Or I don't know who the iPhone is. Who's the iPhone?
I don't know. It's not Bernie.
No. I mean, the problem, Charlene, with just taking it down is that we don't own it, right? He owns it. We can't just do it, although I'd love to.
I don't say take it down. It's already down. It's on the ground. So I'm saying call the insurance company and tell them that it's not serving its purpose, because it's supposed, obviously they wanted it up for a reason. So he put it up, he followed that, that's done, but now it's on the ground. So can they?
How do you know who the insurance company is?
I don't know. Is that generally a matter of public record?
No. Why would it be? I don't think you have to claim who your insurance company is.
Well, yeah, you would know better than I, Joanne.
Yeah. There's no way that I can find out who your home carrier insurance company is. So that's kind of private information.
Yeah, okay.
Well, there's been enough accidents there. They must.
That's true.
Amy, this might be a moment for First Selectman Office action. I mean, I don't think that the committee, as a volunteer committee, can do anything but request nicely. I think the weight of the office might be helpful here.
Right, I was just looking through the information, probably a good 3 months ago, I had Terry in the building office send a letter. So my thought, as we were just discussing it, is that I would follow up with him. Obviously, nothing happened as a result of the letter. We can certainly move to have a letter sent from this office as well. But I'll follow up with Terry and just get his thoughts on the situation.
I suppose I should take the moment to point out if we had a blight ordinance, he'd be in violation of it and subject to real action.
Absolutely.
True.
Yeah.
True.
I know we've talked about a blight ordinance before, and I actually was in the meeting maybe 5 or 6 years ago when they tried to do it. So obviously people didn't like it because they feel like we're telling them what to do. But is there
Right.
any way that you can write a light blight ordinance? Especially, I'm concerned about the corridor, the sign, the Standish Johnson sign. I mean, they've taken care of their taxes. That it's their sign. They don't want to get rid of it, but it doesn't look very nice. So when that corridor is finished and, you know, Welcome to Thompson is up and it looks like crap, like then what? Like, how do we make it so that maybe just in that business corridor, we can have some kind of a blight ordinance, like saying, I mean, there must be standards that towns have to have so that it looks nice when people come into their town, or no?
Well, I did write a blight ordinance, actually right before everybody went into lockdown. Joanne, who is on the ordinance, is that a committee or commission? I don't even know. On that group, they were all having a meeting that morning when I strolled in for my, beginning of my day, and I had mentioned it. So I did draft one based on a few things. The ordinance that Marianne had written previously, which is the one they didn't like, but had the legal framework of the language. The feedback provided at that time by the ordinance committee. The one that is active and in place in Putnam. And also I sort of was zooming around looking at guidance documents for writing them, and I discovered that you can actually also add incentive language, as a carrot and a stick. So we do have one authored. Joanne, what's the process now that you guys have it back?
Well, we haven't had another meeting, and unless there's enough topics for us to discuss, we won't have another meeting for a while. So I think I could certainly send a message over to the other remaining committee members and see if we could just have another meeting specifically to discuss the ordinance, because we did want to pursue it, but of course the pandemic happened, and we've had other issues since then. So I think we just need to bring it to the surface again.
And then presuming that you guys approve the draft or ask for some more amendments and, I rewrite it, then what do you do with it? You send it up to Board of Selectmen?
Yes, and then it takes, the last time, it just takes such a long time to go through the entire process. And then we had a town meeting because it was on an agenda when we had 5 or 6 other points of interest. So it just kind of got, it just needs to be addressed by itself, I think, because it's a very important issue. So I'll reach out to the other committee members and see if we can resurrect this.
Sounds like a good plan.
Okay. So a couple action items then. Amy is going to write another letter, and Joanne is going to reach out to her committee and see what can be done with resurrecting the blight ordinance effort.
Yeah.
So anything else on the fence? I'm sorry.
Not on the fence, but for whatever it's worth, and being concerned with sort of the confidence of the conversation I had. I did have a conversation with a Thompson resident who asked me to pass on Wayne Bugden's information and some of the information about the, what the selling price of building is. because he had a developer acquaintance who might be interested in it. Now, I sent that information over the other day. Who knows how legitimate the inquiry is, which is why I don't want to get too far into the details of who the conversation was with. But the person that I was conversing with is reputable, so, you know, with luck, that's a real bite.
Hmm.
Was the person having trouble reaching Colliers?
I don't know if the person has tried Colliers or not. I sent over the, you know, the commercial flyer that I downloaded off of their website, and Wayne's contact information to describe the environmentals, because nobody knows them better than Wayne. And then also said that if this person's colleague wanted to make arrangements with me to come read the whole phase 1, phase 2, I got them. It's a very dry read. I do not recommend it before bedtime, but yeah, it's here, you know. So hopefully that will be something other than a, you know, stab in the dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we just have to make sure we push that person to the right, down the right path. If they need to, did they contact you directly because they had nobody else to contact?
No, it was just somebody I ran into who asked me about it. It was a totally random encounter. Who said, "Oh, by the way, I have this friend who's potentially interested." I mean, the friend's probably found Collier's information on his own, but there's no reason not to send it. So I sent over the flyer and the reach out information for Wayne.
Okie doke.
Well, as Charlene mentioned, the Collier sign is on the ground, so.
That's true.
At your service.
Okay, any more on the fence? Then we'll move on to member comments. Any other member comments before we adjourn? Hearing none, I guess we're in adjournment on the MSRAC meeting, and we'll move on at 9:20 to the bar meeting. And if I find my, oh, here. Okay, so 9:20, call to order. First item of business, approval of minutes, April 9, 2020, a special meeting. Do I hear a motion to approve those minutes?
Joanne will.
Okay, thank you, Joanne. Second?
I'll second.
All right, thank you. Was that Charlene? I'm sorry.
Darlene, yep, sorry.
Good. All in favor of approving the minutes as they stand?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Looks like they pass. So we move on to correspondence. And there is none. So next is citizens' comments. Have any citizens joined us in the last few minutes? I don't see any. I'm just reading this note from the chair. A bar grant agenda item regarding the updates from John Gumpert may be moved to MSRAC agendas for future meetings. Okay.
I think that's an old note.
Yeah. All right. On to committee business, number 5. 630 Riverside Drive update. I guess there is none.
Are you looking at the same
This is
agenda I am?
maybe not.
Committee, letter A under committee business on the agenda that came out for this meeting is Lot SIP Route 12 Sidewalk Project Design Update.
Oh, I just printed what Janet sent, but it's not the same one that you're reading. So, what does yours say again, Tyler?
So this is definitely regular meeting bar, Friday, June 12th, 9:15 a.m. Under committee business A, Lot SIP Route 12.
I think, Steve, you're reading from the minutes of the MSRAC,
Oh, maybe.
because that's where it says citizens' comment from the chair.
Okay, then I guess I didn't print out the agenda for the bar meeting.
Let me see if I can share the agenda to the
No.
screen.
Sorry, I had just put it off to the side when we started the other meeting. Okay, sorry. Yes, A, Lot Zip Route 12 Sidewalk Project Design Update. All right, I'm on board now. Any update on the design, Tara?
There have been survey crews from Freeman on at least 3 occasions, 2 weekends and a midweek last week. I saw those crews myself a couple of times. Renee's seen them a couple of times. So they are working. We don't have any follow-up to the survey teams yet, but it is definitely in progress, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's good news. Okay, good, thank you. B, Blaine Road Intersection Design Update.
David Held did follow up to me and Janet and Amy earlier this week. His materials have been sent over to ConDOT, and they haven't gotten back to anybody, but nobody's super surprised by that under the circumstances. They're, you know, slow at the best of times, and they're super slow right now.
Okay, so.
But it is also in progress. I should be able to pay him any minute now. His first invoice was approved for disbursement by DECD after a little delay, so we'll be on time with our bills.
Good. Excellent. Okay, moving on to C. John Gumpert Liaison Update Tax Relief.
Hey, this is Amy St. Ange again. About 2 weeks ago, I had a great conversation with Mr. Gumpert. He had reached out to me. At the time, we were still awaiting some type of guidance from our attorneys, from Ken Slater, and had not received it, even though I have had messaged him multiple times, questioning how things were going with what he had said, was that they would put together some type of proposal that we could go to Mr. Gumpert with. After the conversation with John Gumpert, I'll just let you know he's very eager to move forward with moving into the finance portion of it, seeking out financing, but he does need this tax relief package in place in order to present as part of, you know, his plan moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
So in the meantime, after having another conversation with Attorney Slater suggested that I send over that memorandum that I had shared with you from Mike Collins to Mr. Gumpert so he could revise his plan to follow our Connecticut statutes. That being said, I conversed with Attorney Slater just about a day or so ago, and Wednesday, he sent me another memorandum from Mike Collins because it appeared that the establishing a rehabilitation area was going to be the closest match to what John Gumpert had initially suggested, being that it would give him 17 years of tax deferment or tax relief. So he sent a memo, which I should have shared with you. I sent it over to Tira. I don't know if you could share that with everybody after, Tira.
Yeah, I probably have it here. Let me see if I can find it easily.
So in the meantime, I've looked up the various statutes that were referenced in the memo, and my thought is that I will also send copies of those sections of the statute to Mr. Gumpert and attempt to have a conversation with him, possibly today or at least early next week, to discuss, you know, the details within those statutes. I think that'll give him better clarification on where he needs to go as far as putting together a proposal. If he's actually not just seeing a memorandum, but he's actually seeing the sections that are referenced in the memorandum. That also being said, what I'd like to do is potentially move forward with establishing a rehabilitation area. And once you see the memo, it gives an outline of how that takes place. It originates from the Board of Selectmen. It does have to go to public hearing for discussion and gets, from what I can read and what I understand, gets the ultimate stamp of approval from planning and zoning. But it does have to go to public hearing before the resolution can be adopted.
So just to clarify, Amy, we don't have to adjust the zoning language, but planning and zoning ratifies it after the Board of Selectmen and whatever the other process is?
During the public hearing, let me see where I can find it in the statute, because it wasn't totally referenced in. So it says here, no such resolution or criteria shall be adopted, 1, until after a public hearing notice of the time, place, and purpose, which shall be given publication. So then it gives the details on how to go about. And then it said, following such hearing in any municipality having a planning commission or combined planning and zoning commission, such proposal has been referred to such commission for a report in accordance with the provisions of sections 8-12. And in the event such commission disapproves the proposal, the vote on adoption by the municipality shall be in accordance with the provisions of said section 8-24. So, and then notice of adoption of resolution shall be published by the legislative body in a newspaper, having general circulation.
Okay, I have the Slater memo here. Steve, what's your new email? I just have your Gorman Richardson email.
That still works.
Oh.
Tara, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, okay. What is the time frame? I mean, if we're talking zoning, public hearing and zoning, we could easily be talking 3 months here. How's that fit in with John Gumpert's time schedule and trying to get to his finance people?
I think we could do it relatively quickly if we acted on it after this coming Board of Selectmen's meeting. And I'll double check, because of the COVID situation, we may be able to get away with just advertising on the webpage, which has been the policy for public hearings. But it's saying that it has to be published twice, no more than 15 days and no less than 10 days from the date of the public hearing, and then 2 days prior to the date of such hearing.
So maybe we could put
Done, and if we had to call a special P&Z meeting, we could call a special P&Z.
so maybe it could be pulled off within a month then.
I would think that should be our goal, to get this moving and hopefully get this established to make it easier for Mr. Gumpert.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. If it doesn't have to be added to the regulatory language, then there's no reason that it should take as long as you might have feared.
Yep, the public hearing can be as simple as the Zoom public hearing we had last night. Doesn't have to be live and in person.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, all that stuff is suspended indefinitely during the COVID-19 protocols.
Okay, well,
That's
that's
where we stand.
Amy. Good, thank you for that update. And we'll look forward to that progress. Any more on that before we move on? Okay, D is the bar grant itself, wayfinding project status. Any update on the wayfinding effort?
Yeah, as you know, the contract is signed and active. We have the public presentation workshop information gathering scheduled for the evening of the 23rd, which is a Tuesday. And that's, in conjunction with John Guskowski and Kelsey Gensanti of CME. The two of them, myself and Elizabeth Stroud, one of our consultants with the National Park Service, are going to, have pieces of that presentation. We're doing a dry run on it next Tuesday. So that's that's essentially the workaround for the public engagement portion of the requirement in that contract, so that we can get, moving on that. Now, as a tie-in to that, the branding subcommittee has an active RFP for somebody to develop the brand logo package based off the work that we've done previously, the green and growing community. The deadline on RFP for that is today, and I have eight proposals in hand. So those two pieces will have to work together, obviously, so that we don't dilute our work by having differing aesthetic products. But the timing is pretty good, you know, in terms of when we'll be able to do all these things together. I think that CME contract was a 6 to 8 month duration, something along those lines. So, you know, we're chugging along, and we'll have a design package by the end of it. Part of the requirement of that contract is for John and Kelsey to help identify funding strategy, you know, cost estimates as well, but funding strategies for moving ahead. Because, of course, as we all know, at the end of this contract, what we have is a design package, not a sign or a group of signs in hand. That's the next step, but we'll be in a good position.
Okay, good. Tara, just to be clear, is that 6:23? Is that a public meeting?
It is. It is currently publicized on the, you know, the town Facebook page, website. It's being shared all over the place. Tuesday, June 23rd, 6 to 7:30 p.m. It is a Zoomer, like everything else these days. There's going to be, so what Kelsey has done is created a PowerPoint or the equivalent slideshow that has interactivity, live polling questions, you know, so she'll do her piece and then she'll say, you know, here are the series of questions at appropriate times throughout the presentation. So those responses will be gathered live.
Oh, good. Excellent. Well, I look forward to that.
Looks like Janet just tried to call me on my landline, which of course I am on talking to you.
I just found your cell phone.
Yeah, this is the number that she dialed. I can see the number she dialed from is a different number than I have for her landline. I don't know if anybody wants to. Ken, can you call her? I see that you're here.
I can call her.
You want to call her on the side, Joe?
Yeah, I'll try her cell phone.
Okay, you said you had it already?
Yeah, and because I just found her cell phone. So let me try her.
Okay.
It'd be good to touch base just to see if she had any comments before we finish the meeting. So.
I agree. Is SCDMI by any chance Sean Donahoe?
I was going to ask that too.
It looks like it could be, but he's muted. Sean, if that's you, unmute. Don't know.
I don't know either.
I was attempting to unmute and I cannot unmute that person. I don't know why.
All right, the number that I tried for Janet is not her number. Or some other.
I got it.
Oh, she has no power?
Yeah.
Oh, no, okay.
She's just letting you guys know this.
Okay.
Janet's cell number is 860-377-2980. Or at least it was last time I used it.
That's what she just dialed in on. I can see on my my voice message.
So just to give you the heads up, Janet called this office and she cannot get in because she can't connect because she doesn't have power. There was a tree down apparently.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. The mystery solved.
Mystery solved.
Right.
We're almost done anyways. Oh, she thought it was at 10.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So now we're on to other committee business. Any other committee business?
Yeah, I had sent a bunch of stuff over to Janet. Let me find the email that I sent to her. Some of this we already went over. The final regs draft review is underway. That is relevant to this committee's interests. We're 2 discussion sessions into it. We've probably got 2, possibly as many, 3 more. It never goes as quickly as we'd like. You know, we're relitigating some stuff that we had previously litigated, but it's okay because you know, the commission is able to reiterate that they still agree with what they decided months ago, and in some cases make slight adjustments. You know, we're just going to proceed at the fastest pace we can go to try to get this adopted. My goal of getting it adopted by the end of June is out the window. There's just no way we can make that happen. But I'm still hopeful for before the end of July. And for those of you who are interested, those are posted as open to the public to attend. The next one is next Tuesday evening, the 16th at 6. There is an agenda on the website. And for each of these special discussion meetings, I am posting a discussion guide with the specific topics in the proposed regulations draft that we are discussing, which includes the public comments that were received. And to a certain extent, you know, my analysis of the comments and recommendations to the commission, which they then discuss and take or leave as they like. Bernie has sat in on a couple of those because he was a robust contributor. Yeah, I mean, they are doing what they have been doing all along, which is discussing it thoroughly and thoughtfully. They've got good consensus on most things, not necessarily unanimity on some others, but they're, you know, articulating what they want to do. And after those discussion sessions are done, there will be an intermediary step, which is essentially a Q&A period. So more informal, right? So after we get all of the discussion groups completed, I'm going to put one more revised draft highlighting all of the changes that were made after the discussion group. People will be able to log in, ask questions of me, maybe a couple of commissioners, Carolyn, Marla. I haven't exactly figured out who that panel is going to be, but that will be more interactive. In the discussion sessions now, the people providing comments are invited to clarify their comments for the commission to consider them. That will be more back and forth. Why did you do this? What's the purpose of this? How does this work? And then following that, we'll schedule the public hearing, which is the final opportunity for the public to make comment for consideration by the commission, and then the commission will vote to adopt or possibly not adopt their proposed new draft.
And then it'll be time to rewrite the new regs.
No, but it will be time. Oh, no, but it will be time.
Didn't we already have a question and answer from the public? I mean, this will be the second. So you're requesting it's going to go a second time to the public after we've already.
We submitted it to the public to send in written comments so that you guys could consider them.
Yep.
Right, and that's what you guys are doing.
Again?
They get to do it twice, in fact. But the purpose of the intermediary step is not the same as the purpose of a public hearing. As you know, in a public hearing, the public gets to talk, but you're not actually supposed to respond to them. They're just supposed to tell you what they feel and what they think. In this intermediary step, which is more informal, because the reason people hate public hearings is because they ask questions, you guys aren't really supposed to answer them, right? So everybody ends up feeling like they've been ignored, or even though it's just a misunderstanding of the mechanics. So this is, why is this? So that, and the burden's going to be mostly on me to say, this was the reasoning behind this move. The commission accepted this rationale. You know, it doesn't necessarily mean everybody's going to be happy, but it is transparent. We chose to do that because there were some complaints, whether they were genuine or disingenuous, saying that the public had been excluded because of, you know, not being able to meet in public and having to go online. So this is just an extra layer of transparency going above and beyond. The better part of wisdom.
No comment.
Probably delays us by a total of 2 weeks in the process.
We've been doing this for 2 years.
I I know. End
I
game,
know.
end game status. We're almost there. Almost
Okay,
there.
next.
But what I will need to do once the regs are taken care of is start working on the POCD. So if anybody on this committee is interested in being a part of that, I'll be sending out a formal request to a number of committees and commissions soon. But I got to start work on that pretty much right away as soon as we got the regs up. So
POCD, plan of,
the plan of conservation and development,
Okay.
it has a mandatory update period every 10 years, and this is the 10th year.
Mm.
I know I'm not a committee member, so to speak, but, well, I guess I am, sort of.
Technically, you're a committee member for everybody.
Everything. But I did want to give everybody the update on the Wyndham North property lien, the old Quinn Shirt Shop. I believe it's called, as a 96. I always mess up the numbers, 960, 961. I did speak to the developer, Mike. I got in touch with him about a week ago because I wanted to see if he had heard anything from the bank, because as you know, Putnam Bank was sold to Centerville Bank. And we were on the cusp of coming to an agreement to, settle the issue with the lien. And then the bank was sold and everything stopped. So Mike was very excited. He said he had heard back from the attorney for Putnam Bank, well, now Centerville Bank. He's going to be representing Centerville. And hopefully we'll have that settled, or some type of settlement agreement within the next month or so, is the
Oh,
hope.
that'd be good news.
Oh, yeah,
So,
that is good news. Thank you, Amy.
yeah, Mike was really happy that he had heard from the attorney and that Centerville wanted to move forward with something.
Good.
Oh, good. So he's still interested in developing that property?
Oh my goodness, yes, he's just waiting on that piece to it because he wants to install the solar that will run the building entirely on,
Hmm.
on solar. He wants it to be completely self-sufficient, so to speak.
Excellent.
Oh.
So just one more piece from me that I had sent over to Janet to mention. I had briefly mentioned in last month's meeting that I was working on a grant submission to a program run out of the USDA, a division called NIFA, the National Institute for Food and Agriculture. That I submitted that on the 2nd of June. It actually came together unbelievably well. So again, for the background, we've got that project sort of in its infancy over at 65 Main that started with the installation of the community garden. The garden is up, it's planted, it's beautiful. You should go over and look at it. EDC has some funds set aside in fiscal 21, which fortunately did not suffer any more cuts after the couple of rounds of cuts they got from finance. So I've got about 9 to 10 grand I can put into getting the foundation repaired in fiscal 21, and I'll go out to bid for that almost immediately. So the grant itself is a partnership between my office and 6 non-for-profit or individual consultant partners. Those partners are the American Chestnut Foundation, which is an advocacy group to regrow native chestnut orchards. Eastern Connecticut Conservation District, Connecticut Farm Bureau, Connecticut RC&D, which is the Rural Development and Conservation Area, Teague, and John Guskowski as an independent planner. They've all donated as in-kind a total, and when you add in my salary hours as well, we've got about 17 grand to use as match funds, so I've requested 15 grand to hire a permaculture consultant to help plan a public permaculture food forest park on the adjacent town-owned 14 acres that skirts the French River and abuts the property. So it's a very complicated project. So the whole thing incorporates the community garden, the rehab of the house for the small business center, which is to be focused on small agriculture and food system production businesses, with an affordable housing unit for a property manager included that will also generate some money for the Turtle Lot Trust and the school trip fund as was originally intended. And then the long-term project also incorporates this park. So those 6 partners, plus hopefully the consultant that we would be able to hire for the grant, are going to start in fiscal 21, and the timeline as to when we start is dependent on whether we get to hire the consultant or not, with the planning process for that. So whether we get the grant or not, we're going forward. The grant allows us to do it more completely. And then after that, we have essentially a package that we can use for more funding opportunities. Concurrently with that, I sent in a letter of interest to another USDA-sponsored program. I think it's called the Healthy Foods Funding Initiative, which is geared towards bringing in food retail. That grant supports construction, so my letter of interest is to seek the full rehab construction amount for the house. So if they accept my letter of interest, and if they provide any of the funding for that, that's a real keystone to that interlocking project, and that would be a huge asset in that neighborhood. So, you know, fingers crossed that we get all of it, but we will start that project regardless in fiscal 21.
Tara, did you say that they would finance it or give us some money?
Fund it. It's called the Healthy Foods Financing Initiative, but it is a grant program with no match required.
Wow. Okay, terrific.
So hopefully they'll accept the letter of interest. That's the first step, and I submitted that earlier this week. I think I sent that in on Monday. You know, and again, all these pieces work together, and it's relevant to the bar grant because this is in our target area. So I figured you guys should be aware.
Yeah, no, thank you.
That's awesome. Terrific. Thank you.
And that's what I got.
Excellent update. Thank you.
Gee, Terry, have you been busy lately?
You have no idea, Joanne. Actually, you do know because I spend half my weekends with you, with either playing in the dirt or counting filthy little nip bottles.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome.
We got another 10,000 nips last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
That
God.
shed has almost 40,000 nips in it right now. It's
Unbelievable.
crazy.
Wow.
That represents a lot of gallons of alcohol.
It does, and that's 2 months worth of collection. So we know we're going to go another month with that. I have definitely secured the funding for at least 1 more month. I'm pretty sure we've got at least 2 more months solidly funded. I have a request into the Walmart Foundation. I made a fairly large request. Their maximum is a $5,000 request. I know they're considering it. I think it's likely they'll give us something, whether it's the full 5 or not. If they get anywhere near that amount, we can possibly go the full 8 months that we had initially hoped for. But right now, we're still month to month.
Awesome. That's terrific.
That is.
Thank you.
That's good news. Wow, thank you. So I guess we're on to member comments. Any comments, members? Remember, you have to unmute if you want to make a comment.
Everybody's unmuted except Norma and Amy and Ken.
You can.
I think Ken got booted off.
I
don't
saw.
know.
No, well, he's back in.
Oh,
I see his name and an icon for a muted mic, but I don't see his camera.
yep. No, I think you're doing a great job getting grants, seeing as we can't get money, might as well get free money or get anything that we can to help us move Thompson forward. It seems like we get stuck in a rut and people want a lot of things and then they complain when they don't have them. But I'm finding out in Thompson they don't want to pay for them either. So kudos to you for doing all the hard work and getting us every dime that we can get to show that at least we're trying to do something with the town of Thompson. So thank you.
Yeah.
Well, as it turns out, I actually enjoy grant writing, which is a bizarre thing to enjoy.
It is.
You may be interested to know I also enjoy sticking needles into my eyes. So.
Okay.
Too much information.
Too much.
Nice.
Good. Any other comments? And it looks like Janet never was able to join, so,
Hey, Steve,
yeah.
I just have one thing to ask Tira. The last thing that we did was the bar grant, which we're finishing off now. If it's
Yep.
possible, if she could talk to Binu and see if there's anything else, say a next step that we could possibly use with this revitalization, if they have any other programs. I know we've been taking it one step at a time. There's always a possibility that they could free up, another program or something that can continue us where we're going. So next time that
Well,
you speak
those brownfield grants do come up, and actually this is the period where they're open. There are cleanup grants available. So building is one of those things that's always on my mind, but we don't own it, which makes it complicated. If we owned it, if it was something that we had seized, or, for whatever other reason came into our possession, the ability to write that grant is easier, I think. But, it's certainly something worth looking into. But yeah, obviously I'll talk with Binu more as well.
Yeah, I mean, they've invested, the state's invested, DEC has invested into the redevelopment of the mill site since deconstruction had started, over 3 years ago. So they're very well vested. Maybe they may have, an idea of something else that, we can possibly apply for that can continue moving that effort forward.
I'll tell you the other thing that's a possibility is, as you know, I'm on that Eastern Connecticut Land Bank. I'm on that board of directors. So that's the project that Mary Ann and Wayne had started specifically to have a brownfields and distressed properties not-for-profit land bank in Eastern Connecticut. We are closing in on getting our 501c3 squared away, and they are going to start looking for a project. Now, they've got a couple of target projects, one in Plainfield and one in Montville, I want to say. The one in Plainfield is huge and complicated. The one in Montville is small and discreet. From my point of view, Beldings is in between that. The demolition's already done. We know the cleanup is manageable. So once that 501c3 is official and they're really up and running, I certainly plan on bringing that back up to that board to see if that's a worthy project. And, again.
Are they funded, or are they going to have to get all money by grants? The land bank.
Well, that's a part of what we're working out as we get our 501c3 and seek funding. I mean, the way I understand the model is that they would, in a perfect world, they are taking title for municipally owned properties that are in, tax arrears or whatever. So they're taking title, they're taking the risk, they're doing the assessments and cleanups, and then they are selling the property back to, developers.
Right.
And that's how the thing funds itself over time.
Over time, but initially, say the decision was to do.
It would need to be
mill site.
initially grant funded or funded by, foundations. That's correct.
Right, because he's not going to give that property away.
No. Like I say, the target probably initially is municipally owned properties that they can sort of acquire.
Right.
But this one's up there too.
Yeah, so there's no acquisition cost. There's no major acquisition cost.
Right, not for the upfront projects, but depending on how long Belding limps along, then other options may become open.
Do the other one in Plainfield and Montville, are they municipally owned?
I believe Montville is for sure. I'm less certain about the Plainfield one. That Plainfield one, at our last online meeting, we saw aerials of the site. It is a catastrophic mess. I can't imagine anybody wanting to touch it with a 10-foot pole, including a not-for-profit land bank. So,
especially as their first project.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
It's a good way to kill a committee.
Yeah. But that's a really good board. Rich Roberts actually is our pro bono counsel on there as well. Delpha's involved, obviously Marianne and I and Wayne. Some of the engineering professor staff over at UConn, Maria Chrysokou and Nefeli Bumpali, who are specifically work with brownfields. Beano's involved, Connecticut Deep's involved, EPA's involved, although none of those people are on the board of directors. But
Oh, yeah, that sounds promising, to say the least.
yeah, it's got some legs.
That's cool. Tara, that Plainfield project, is that a mill or what kind of?
It was.
It's the
Now
old
it's a-
Pavel, it's the old Pavel mill that's along the railroad that had a catastrophic fire,
Yes,
probably
that's the
half
one.
a dozen years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, that's exactly the one. It's not too far from Plainfield Town Hall.
Yeah, it's right in the back.
Yeah.
But the program is, as we all know, municipalities have certain properties that are brownfield that have enormous back taxes on it. And it was a way for the municipality to go into a land bank, acquire the property in lieu of the taxes, get it revitalized and have no liability and put it back onto the market. The Belding site, the taxes are not really in arrear other than open land. So that's one of those things that we have a disadvantage with, where if we tried to acquire it because of back taxes, $20,000, $30,000 is nothing for the property owner when you go out for, a tax foreclosure or something along those lines for somebody to scoff it up.
Yeah, so it's not, not a perfect situation in terms of a first project for that reason, but physically a great project. So if circumstances change, that is a resource that's going to be there.
Okay, good. Any other comments? Well, hearing none, I guess we're on to adjournment.
Woo!
Thank you, everyone. And it's your job
Good night.
to follow up.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good weekend, everyone.
Take care.
You too.
Thanks.